Welcome back to our channel Class Like Community. So today is the lecture 8, that is the semiconductor laser, and here we will cover the topics, that is the principle, construction, application, working, as well as the application of the laser. So without wasting more time, let's begin with the principle. So this is the diagram, and it states that a semiconductor diode is a specially fabricated PN junction diode. What does it mean? That this is a PN junction diode which has, whenever it will be forward biased, at that point of time this will emit a light. So that is a semiconductor diode laser, and this N junction is the active medium. Now what is active medium and recombination? Let's see. So recombination is the process wherein electrons and holes meet each and result in the release of heat energy. That means whenever the electron and the holes will meet up and it will release heat energy, and this process is known as recombination. It actually means that in this the electrons transfer from the conduction band to the valence band, and this occurs when it is forward biased, that the system is forward biased, and it will occur in the PN junction, which is the depletion region, and hence it is called as active medium, which is being stated here. So this all thing is written here. You need to write all of the points, the principle of the semiconductor laser. Now we make use of direct band gap and degenerate semiconducting material. So first we will know what is direct band gap. So direct band gaps are the material where there is no loss of energy, and it will release the energy, and you can see, and we can see that energy in the visible region. So this is what is direct band gap, which is stated here. The direct band gap semiconductor are the material where there is no loss of energy and the released energy will be visible. Now we will know what is degenerate semiconductor. So the degenerate semiconductor means they are highly doped. Like in the P region we have electrons, that means more number of electrons is, holes is there. That's why P region is degenerate in holes, and in N region there is electron. That's why that is degenerate in electrons. Okay, so now let's move on. Before that we should know example for this. So example is that GaAs is gallium arsenide, which is an example. CdSe cadmium selenide, which is an example. So these are the example of the semiconductors. So now let's move on and see the construction. So GaAs diode is a single crystal of gallium and arsenide. Okay, so it is heavily doped in the N and P sections. So that means in the P section it will be heavily doped with holes, and in the N section it will be heavily doped with electrons. So here we have assumed that GaAs is the diode, which is, that means it is a single crystal of gallium and arsenide. Now the N section is formed by doping with tellurium and P section with zinc. Now we know that in N section it is doped with, it is highly doped with electrons. Here it states that it is doped with tellurium, and in P section it is doped with zinc. So the doping concentration ranges between 10 to the power 17 to 10 to the power 19 dopant atoms per centimeter cube. So the size of the diode is very small. That means the diode which we have assumed is very small, and its size is 1 mm, and its junction width is 1 μm to 100 μm. A pair of parallel plane is polished and thus play the role of reflecting mirrors. They provide sufficient reflection to sustain the lasing action. So see, this side is partially polished, this side is polished face. That means this side will reflect mirrors. That means it plays the role of reflecting mirrors, which is sufficient for the lasing action. The other two sides are roughly surfaced to suppress the reflection of the photon. So this side is roughly surfaced. That's why it can stop the reflection of the photons. In surface of PN section parallel to the plane of junction are provided with the electrodes in order to facilitate application of forward bias voltage with the help of the voltage source. So there is a plane of junction which are provided with the electron, so there the forward bias can be happened. Okay, so with this help of this voltage source. Okay, so this was the construction. Now we will see the working. So suitable forward bias voltage is applied in the diode to overcome the potential barrier. So some forward bias voltage is applied so that it can overcome the potential barrier. Due to forward biasing, more and more electrons are injected into the N region. So in the N region, more and more electrons get injected. These lead to the increase in the pollution of electrons in the N region. That's why there are a lot of pollution which gets occurred in the N region, and in P side there is a pollution of holes. When the current crosses this certain value, so whenever this current crosses, that's why, so here you can see this the electrons pollution occur, here is the holes pollution which occur. So that's why here we can see that whenever the current crosses the threshold current, electrons from N type comes to the higher energy level of the depletion region and population inversion is attained. That means whenever the current goes over, at that point of time, that is known as threshold current. At that point of time, this N type becomes higher energy level. That means here the population inversion got attained. Now, once the population of charge carriers in the depletion region increases, the electrons are made to recombine with the holes in the lower energy level. So, what happens when the population of these charge carriers get increased, at this point of time it starts recombining with the holes in the lower region. That means this is the lower region where it becomes recombined. At this stage, a photon released by spontaneous emission may trigger stimulated emission over a large number of recombination, leading to the buildup of laser radiation of higher power. Thus, the current flow provides pumping in semiconductor laser. So, here a reasoning can come why the current flow provides pumping in the semiconductor laser. So, at that point of time, you need to state that when these charge carriers get more and more increase, it starts recombining in the lower energy. At that point of time, the spontaneous emission gets triggered to the stimulated emission, and here there is a large number of recombination which gets built up of laser radiation of high power. That's why the current flow provides this pumping to this semiconductor laser. And you need to remember that the energy gap of GaAs, that is gallium arsenide, is 1.4 electron volt, or in simple EV. Okay. So now let's see the application of semiconductor laser. So the application is that it is used in optical communication. It is used as reading device for compact displays. Semiconductor lasers are used in laser printers. Semiconductor lasers are used in medicines, interferometry and barcode scanners. So these are the 4 applications of semiconductor laser. That means one is optical communication, second is the reading device for compact displays, for laser printers, for medicine, interferometry and barcode scanners. Barcode scanners you can obviously see in many shops or in malls where there are barcode which is given, and for the scanner we use the semiconductor laser. So now let's move on and see the application of laser. So first is the laser range finder. So what is it? Laser range finders have numerous applications. So there are many numerous applications such as measuring of rooms and buildings. So as we need to make big buildings, at that point of time this laser range finders are used in the construction sector to determine the depth of snow in accessible areas. So many a time whenever they go to high level or high altitude, at that point of time they uses this thing so that they can see how much is the depth of snow. Cloud-based height for atmospheric study. So it is used in the study of the atmosphere. Air pollutant distribution, attitude characteristics, characterization of space debris, trajectory of aircraft. That means what is the angle of the aircraft, satellites. Laser technology is more cost effective. The laser range finder uses a laser signal to transmit and return from a target. The time delay between the transmission and receipt of the signal is used to determine the distance to the target based on the speed of light. The receiver consists of reflector, photodetector and amplifier. Okay, so next is the laser in data storage. So data storage, before then you need to remember that is used in so many things, and whatever the time delay it's caused, it is used to measure the distance to the target based on the speed of light. So it will be calculated with the speed of the light, and the receiver consists of a reflector, photodetector and amplifier. So all this is stated as the what is the uses of the laser. Now laser in data storage. In a compact disc, series of microscopic holes known as pit is formed by burning. So what happens in the compact disc, everyone have seen that there are many series of microscopic holes, no pit is formed. So whenever it gets burned, so there are series of microscopic holes get generated. Laser light is reflected from the disc surface and is detected by photodiode. So these can be detected by photodiode. The amount of light received by the diode varies according to the presence or absence of the pit. That means here we can detect the absence and presence of the pit depending on the whatever the amount of light we get received from the diode. In a CD, 1s and 0s are recorded in the form of pit along a spiral track on a plastic material with metal coating. So all the pits which are formed is along a spiral track, that is on a plastic material where there will be a metal coating. The total length of the track would be around 6 km. So any transition from pit to land or land to pit is read as 1, while the region completely in the land or pit is read as 0. So what is 1s and 0? You got to know. When it's from pit to land or land to pit, it is read as 1, while the region completely in the land or pit, it is read as 0. Separation between this track is 1.6 micrometer in a DVD, that is digital video disc. The laser beam is focused on the surface of the CD. So basically the laser beam is focused on the whatever is in the surface of the CD, and the reflected beam reaches the photodetector and processed. The laser spot should have minimum size holographic storage, uses entire volume of the recording medium rather than this surface, and hence stores large data. So these are the two applications of laser. So here you need to remember what are the uses and how much was the time delay and with whom it was get compared and all of that. Here you need to remember that the laser spot should have minimum size holographic storage, so that the entire volume of the recording medium except the surface, so it can store a large data. So these are all the things which we covered today, and I hope all of you understood. Thank you for watching, and if you have any queries, please comment us down below. Till then, be happy and have a great day.
Wow, that's impressive! You have completed a magic today. For more videos, subscribe. Join our Facebook group and Instagram page for group discussion and live Magus videos for exam preparation in an hour. We start at Classfly community for students to learn from a friend in a simple way and support them in their own languages. If you are willing to be that one friend who saves us at the exam night preparation, then please join us by visiting classfly.in.